Listening practice, biography text, grade 12. Wage Rudolf Supratman, or more often called W.R. Supratman, was born on Friday Wage, March 19, 1903 in Somongari village, Kaligesing district, Purworejo Regency, Central Java. Although born in Somongari, W.R. Supratman didn't live in that village. 3 months after he was born, his parents took him to Jatinegara. As a Kenil soldier, Sergeant Jumeno Seno, or W.R. Supratman's father, immediately registered the birth of his child. To make it easier, the birth certificate of W.R. Supratman was made in Jatinegara. So, many wrote that W.R. Supratman was born in Jatinegara. W.R. Supratman started his education at Frobel School or Kindergarten School Jakarta in 1907 when he was 4 years old. After living with her sister, Mrs. Rukiem in Makassar, W.R. Supratman continued his education at Twidi in Lansit School or Sekolah Angka 2 and completed in 1917. In 1919, W.R. Supratman passed the Client Abdenar examen or KAE, an examination for prospective low-level employees. After graduating from KAE, Wage continued his education to normal school or teacher education school. His career in music cannot be separated from the role of his brother-in-law, W.M. van Eldik. W.R. Supratman, who was given a violin by Van Eldik on his 17th birthday. Together with Van Eldik, he found a jazz band group called Black and White. W.R. Supratman's skill in music was used to create songs of struggles, one of which was designated as the national anthem of the Republic of Indonesia, Indonesia Raya. W.R. Supratman's career peaked when he moved from Makassar to Bandung and started his journalistic career by becoming a journalist at the Kaum Muda newspaper in 1924. A year later, he moved to Jakarta and became a journalist for the Sinpo newspaper. Since then, he has been diligent in attending youth organization meetings and political party meetings held at the Assembly Building in Batavia. Since then, W.R. Supratman became acquainted with movement figures. In the implementation of the Second Youth Congress on 27 to 28 October 1928, W.R. Supratman was involved. For the first time, he played the anthem Indonesia Raya with the accompaniment of his violin scraping in front of all Congress participants before the Youth Congress decision was read, known as the Youth Pledge. After the implementation of the Second Youth Congress, W.R. Supratman's life was no longer calm because he was spied on by the Dutch police because of the words Merdeka, Merdeka in his song. So that in 1930, the Dutch East Indies government forbade the Indonesian people to sing the anthem Indonesia Raya in public. In 1933 to 1937, he moved from Jakarta to Cimahi, then to Pemalang. Until in April 1937, he was taken by his sister, Mrs. Rukiem, went to Surabaya. W.R. Supratman's arrival in Surabaya was immediately noticed by his comrades in arms. They came to visit W.R. Supratman, who was still weak after being sick. On August 7, 1938, W.R. Supratman was arrested by the Dutch at the studio of Radio Nirom, or Netherlands Indische Radio Omroep, on Jalan Embong, Malang, Surabaya. because his song titled The Rising Sun was sung by KBI Scouts or Indonesian Nation Scouts on the radio and was considered a form of sympathy. After being detained, W.R. Supratman was then released after the Dutch could not find any evidence that he sympathized with Japan. His health condition was getting worse. On August 17, 1938, W.R. Supratman died at Jalan Mangga number 21 Tambaksari, Surabaya due to heart problem. W.R. Supratman was buried in Kapasan Public Cemetery, Jalan Tambak Segaran, Wetan, Surabaya. For his services in fighting for Indonesian independence, W.R. Supratman received an award in the form of moving and repairing the tomb. Then on August 17, 1960, the Indonesian government awarded the Bintang Mahaputra.